Now, the Media Coalition Against Open Defecation, M-Code, is asking the Ghana Education Service to, with immediate effect, provide toilet facilities for all public schools. Now, their call has been intensified after the death of a head teacher at Isiakwa Salvation Army Basic School in the eastern region. Now, the school head is believed to have been killed by the youth there for warning them to desist from defecating on the school compound. Convener of the coalition, Emmanuel Adai, has been speaking to Hannah Odami.
So what would you say is government's specific inputs into eradicating open defecation?
What I see mostly that the government is doing is that the government already has staff in every district, environmental health staff who are already in the districts. That is the main input that I see from government.
Just the staff?
Yes, because apart from the staff, when it comes to vehicles or motorbikes and so on, that the staff will have to use to go to the field, to talk to the people, to do the monitoring and follow up and whatever, will have to come from the donors.
Yeah.
Yes. Even the fuel that they want to put into the motorbikes and those things so that they can go to the communities still have to come to them.
Are you saying that governments only provide a human resource but then leaves every other thing to the donors?
Because sometimes even for a simple meeting between stakeholders to discuss issues, and if a donor does not fund, government doesn't want to put in anything.
Then where lies government's commitments?
That is what we are also questioning, because we don't see the commitment much. We talk, we do talk, we have the policies, we have the strategies, but we rely so much on donor support. And the moment the donor will say there's no more cash, I think nothing will move.
So what do you think can be different? Because we can't continue to rely on donors if we really, really want to eradicate this menace.
Yes, so if we want to eradicate open defecation in Ghana, for instance, one, we have the building code that every house that we build, even before the plan is approved, there should be a toilet. And then once the building is completed, there should be inspection to actually determine or ascertain or to verify that there is a toilet in the house. Who does that? Nobody does that. So this has made a lot of people build houses without toilet in the past. These days, I could see the trend is changing. I think every modern house that we see has some toilets. But a lot of houses have been built in the past without toilets. So, and then partly because government at that time was providing communal toilets for people. But government is supposed to provide public toilets at public places for transient populations, but not for households to go and use. But what we see is that the same government used to be providing toilets for communities. So then I build my house, there's a public toilet, or preferably I use communal toilets.
But wasn't that one of the ways they were using to eradicate this, or you think that was not?
It didn't help.
It didn't help.
It didn't help.
They should have revised it.
Exactly. Hannah, you were part of the Ashaman trip and you saw the public toilet that we saw there. Everybody is using the same toilets. Even this one, there's an attendant there who is supposed to be making the place clean. Look at what we saw.
And I saw.
And then there are so many of these without an attendant. So that will be worse. So the youth will not want to go there. You go there, one, people are smoking. You are allergic to smoking. But people prefer smoking while they defecate. You go to the public toilet to meet such people. You can't drive them away. You can't wait till they leave. You are supposed to endure whatever pain. Two, the stench from the toilet itself. You can't bear it. Sometimes it has not been cleaned for so many days. Sometimes you see a whole water closet pot and that it's almost full, has not been flushed. A lot of cockroaches, rats, and I mean, you don't like to go to a public toilet.
So then you are saying that if government actually enforces the fact that every house that is built should have a toilet facility, and then inspection goes on, you are sure that this will curtail the practice?
It is a behavior problem. You know, sometimes the facility alone may not solve the problem.
But we are talking about government side now.
Government side now, government side now includes provision of facilities or ensuring that facilities are in place.
And the district assemblies are supposed to inspect.
When I talk about government, I mean this time because the sanitation is actually...
No, I'm talking about the inspection. Who is supposed to do that?
The district assemblies.
The district assemblies. And you say it's not ongoing. It doesn't go on.
It goes on mostly when there's donor support.
Okay.
when donors are not in a particular district, you go there, their sanitation situation is worse.
Do we have enough donor support to fight this?
It's not enough.
Okay.
For instance, I mentioned UNICEF, and UNICEF is supporting 5 main regions. When they come to Greater Accra, it's only in the Ashama municipality. That's where their support ends. What about the 5 other regions?
Let's talk about the behavioral attitude.
Yeah, behavior too, because as a government, sometimes it's not always applying the force. Sometimes there are genuine reasons why people are not doing certain things. Education comes in. How much is government spending on public education?
But why would you leave your home, go to a public place to just defecate, and you expect to be educated not to do it?
People have cultural meanings into all some of these things. This morning I was in another studio and we were talking about water, sanitation and hygiene situation in hospitals and clinics. Over there too, there's another issue. And so over there, some of the reports coming is that people come to the hospital, they don't want to use the toilet there. They prefer the bush because they don't share toilet facilities with other people. So you see, there are a whole lot of complications. So when things have this cultural and traditional, those things, it becomes difficult to enforce the law. You end up almost imprisoning everybody.
In one breath, you are saying government is not doing enough. In another breath, is a behavioral attitude that is actually derailing government's efforts.
Yes, that is.
So how do we reconcile? How do we finally, because all we want to do is reduce or totally eradicate open defecation. We don't want it to continue in Ghana.
Yeah, whether it is we have to enforce, or whether we have to educate, or whether we have to just provide or ensure that has been provided. Government is government. We have been put there to ensure that right things are done. That's why we have institutions in place. Okay. So the institutions we have, they have the mandate to educate, they have the mandate to provide, they have the mandate to enforce. And all these things must be done, but they are not being done adequately. Where they have to provide, they are not providing. Where they have to enforce, they are not enforcing. Do you see it? So where they have to educate, they say the resources are not there for them to educate. Because if you want to educate, you need the facilities, you need the systems, you need the mediums, you need the vehicles to be going around, and they say there's no money. So these are the complications. But all these things still come down to the laps of the government. I mean, of the government. And when I say government, all the institutions working for government, the ministry and the MMDs, and any agencies involved. They are not doing enough, and that is why these behaviors are still going on. Let me come back to this headmaster's issue.
We'll come to that, but with all these challenges that you have mentioned, do you see an end in sight?
The end is possible. It's possible. But if we don't make the move, at the moment, the way we are going, it will never end, because 22 in 1990, 22 in 2019. So then there will be no end. But if there is any dynamic change, the end is very possible.
What is that one drastic change you think can stop this?
The drastic change for me, from my end as MCODE, from MCODE's point of view, is that institutions should just set up and decide and have a roadmap that by this year we have to eradicate open defecation.
Like Ashama has declared that 2020 open defecation will be a thing of the past. Do you think it's possible?
It is possible, because they said only 0.2% of the population are practicing open defecation. But
that's not practicable on the ground. When you go, you see a lot of people.
Yeah, what we saw is that you might think it's not practicable, but that is 0.2%. So it means more than 99% of the people do not do it. Okay. And saying in 2010, they were 4%. So it means it is reducing and it is possible. The Nandom district, between 2014 and this March this year,
2019,
they have been able to eradicate open defecation totally.
That's
the first district in the country.
Okay.
So if some districts have been able to do it, and some districts are determined to do it, as I talk, Tatale Sanguli districts, they can also declare by the end of this year.